Hey there everyone, it's Ed here from Bunch of Swines again. Today we're going to be looking at the ways that we can achieve similar results that we get from our larger, bigger smokers, actually using something that most people have in their backyard. So we're going to be using a Weber Kettle today. We're going to be looking at how we can, just by using some good quality charcoal, we can create, turn this thing into a low and slow smoking machine. So, basically we're going to use the snake method to do this. So we're going to see how I set that up, how we light it, and then we're going to cook on it.
So we're making a 2 briquette snake here today, hoping for a temperature somewhere around the areas of 250 degrees Fahrenheit. This is going to give us a nice consistent burn throughout the whole cooking process. As you see, I just stand these briquettes up vertically and just keep working its way around until I have a big, basically a big horseshoe at the end of it. Once we get to the end of our briquette, our snake, I'm then going to put 10 unlit coals into a chimney starter. We're basically going to light these up, wait till they get white hot and all covered with ash, and then we're going to use these to basically extend one end of the snake. So this is sort of lighting the fuse, and then we just keep building this up. I don't want to join the two together, so I'll just start placing them on top and start placing them in ways that it will join on with the unlit briquettes, just to make sure that they catch. This is going to give us a good heat to start off with, and then we can get cooking from there. Once we got that all done, we're just going to put a couple of bits of wood, so 1 piece of cherry and 1 piece of hickory, not much at all. We're going to put our cooking rack on top. One thing I don't actually own is a pit thermometer, so what I'm just using here is one of my meat probes. Obviously it doesn't come with a clip, so a screwed up piece of tin foil, and then I can stab the meat thermometer through there, and that will hold it in place, allowing me to get an accurate read on temperatures of what's going to be happening inside the kettle whilst we're cooking on it. So we're using a chef alarm today. This thing, one of the good features about this is that it actually has a stopwatch. So we're going to be, start the counter now that we've lit our snake, and we're basically going to keep an eye on how long it takes to burn. So here we can see that the snake's been running for 20 minutes, and now we've got a temperature of 220 degrees, and the temperature is still going up at this point. So I'm going to get the brisket on now, just so I can go off and basically go do other things. This is a brisket that I trimmed using the same trimming method that I put in a video the other day. So I'll put a link in the description to that video so you can see how we got it to this shape. But basically we're cooking the flat, we're going to get some burnt ends from it, and all in all it's it should come out quite nice today. And there we can see we've got a bit of smoke where the wood started to catch, adding that flavour. So we are 2.5 hours in, and we see we're sitting steady at 225. So 250. And then we're now coming up to 4 hours. It's dipped a little to 225. But let's have a quick look at how far the snake has actually burnt, and also see what that brisket's doing in there. So now we're coming up to about 4.5 hours in, and for some reason it's dropped quite a bit to 200 degrees. So we're going to have a quick look at this. And looking here, it actually shows that a bit of my snake has fallen apart where I've not packed it tightly. So I'm just going to put it back and let it catch up. And there we go. You see, give it a bit more time and it's back up to temperature. So now, the brisket's been on for, I don't know, roughly about 7 hours, 6 or 7 hours. So I just want to have a quick probe on it, just see what the temperature is doing, just to make sure that it's, cooking at the rate I'm expecting it to. And then, we just have an idea of when we're going to wrap it. So we're only at about 160 Fahrenheit, so I'm going to go a little bit longer, just to keep building that bark before we wrap it in foil. So now a bit more time has passed. The snake's been running for 9 hours. The brisket's been on for a while as well. So it's now time to to take it off, and now we will look at wrapping the brisket. One of the things we're finding is with the sun beating down onto the kettle, it's actually pushing the temperature up quite a bit. So we're probably getting an additional 20 degrees on top of our target temperature because of the sun. In all honesty, that I'm not worried about that. And I mean, especially now that we've got it wrapped in foil, we've got no problems here. We're just going to keep on letting it ride, letting it do its thing, and we will come back and see it in a bit. So now, we're 9.5 hours in. Temperature's at 264. Seeing that actually the snake, we're starting to come down to the end of the snake now, so I probably need to start thinking about loading it back up, extending the snake a bit more. So all I'm going to do is just take the cooking rack off, and so I can add a few more briquettes to make sure that I get the burn time that I need to make sure that we're going to finish this cook and and get this brisket nice and tender, so it's ready to eat later on tonight. I'm just adding those straight onto the end of the unlit coal. Sorry, of the lit coals. Nothing really special going on. Just trying to make sure I don't knock them over. Sometimes it can be a bit fiddly. But we'll keep burning it on, and just looking there, I think that's probably more than enough. If we don't use it all, we can always take any of the unlit coals away at the end of our cook. And there we go. So we're kind of getting round to a full loop of the kettle inside with the briquettes. Now that's all on there, it's time to put that brisket back on. I'll face it away from the hot coals, even though it's in foil. I still don't want to burn it through the foil. And we'll just keep an eye on things. So here we go. So the sun's gone down a bit. We're getting towards the end of our cook, and I probably didn't add the coals sooner, so I lost a bit of heat in the momentum of the snake. But 222 is still a good temperature to cook at, especially when we're just seeing when this is going to be done. So I'm just going to check it for tenderness, because it's been on here for about for quite a while. So all I'm doing is trying to figure out where the grain runs and make sure that I'm probing across it. I do probe it a lot, just with a thermopen straight across the grain. And just so I can feel how tender it is, if there's any resistance going on, and at different parts of the flat as well. So just looking at that, I mean that's pretty much done. So it'll be time to take it off. We can take this off the cooker. I'll just show you what the finishing temperature is on this one. I normally just go by feel. I don't normally worry about temperature too much, but I think this one's reading at about 209 today. So, but it felt good, so I'm not too worried about that.
Now that our brisket is off, it's had a bit of time to rest. We vented it, so we opened the foil, let the steam out, closed it back up, and then we've let it rest for around about an hour. Just try and get it to cool down a bit before we start slicing into it. Now is the moment of truth, so let's see if we did any good. Okay, so as we can see, our brisket is nicely cooked. Had a bit of a rest, still nice and warm. It feels nice and tender. Just want to try and get this onto the board without breaking it. So
the first thing I'm going to do, we left the point end attached, so I just want to get my knife down under there, and then I can just finish off separating the point, so that part can be cubed up, and we can have that as some burnt ends later on. And then with this piece, so I'm going to spin it round. I always like to cut, I don't know why I like to cut from this way. I can see the grains going that way, this way. So I'm just going to try and cut straight across it, okay. As you can see, it's cutting really nicely. I can see, quite a bit of juice, bit of moisture in the flat already. So just going to keep going. Try and stay consistent with the size of the slices. And let's have a look at what this is looking like. So let's pull that back. Right, so we've got a nice tenderness on it. Pulls apart really easily. Just trim some of that fat off the bottom. I mean, it's not a competition winner, but it's definitely a good eating brisket. So I'm going to carry on slicing this up, and then we can have a bit of a recap of everything after this is done.
So there you have it. That was our brisket cooked on a Weber Kettle. As you can see, the snake method, whilst it might not be as accurate as some, using bigger smoking equipment, it's more than capable of, turning out decent food and giving you a good result. So, whilst it wasn't going to be a competition winner, it would definitely make you popular with your friends and neighbours. So there you go. I mean, I hope you like it. If you did like this video, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you soon.